All right, we're going to head out in a few minutes and hunt us some Englund Gambiteers. But first, I think we should probably come up with the game plan to make the hunt more enjoyable. So, the Englund Gambit is d4 followed by e5 for black. So, they're trying to get some quick activity and try to attack us, is generally what the Englund Gambiteer wants to do. So we probably should look at a few characteristics of the Englund Gambiteer as we prepare for our hunt. So the first characteristic of an Englund Gambiteer is that they like to dish it out, but they're not very good at taking it. Second quality is they really like instant gratification. They don't like to embrace the virtues of patience and discipline. And a third characteristic is they are easily thrilled. They're the kind of person that likes to hear the same joke over and over, and it never gets old to them. It's just as funny the 1,000th time they've told a joke as it is the first time that they heard it. So let's look at what a dream position, when they go to bed at night, they dream of getting this position on the board. So, of course, they want you to take the gambit, and they'll develop knight to c6 to try to grab that pawn back. They'll pile up on that pawn. And what they want is they want somebody who doesn't know the line and tries to hang on to that pawn. And then what they dream of is throwing in this check. We come back, play bishop to d2. They take. And when white plays bishop to c3, which looks natural enough, especially in a blitz game, they play bishop to b4. And like I said, this is as fun for them the 1,700th time they've played it on somebody as it is the first time they ever saw it. So if we were thinking, how would we want to approach game like that? Well, to me, if you have somebody who likes to dish it out but can't take it, then you want to try to dish it out. And ironically, in my experience, people who like to play attacking systems at all costs tend to be terrible defenders. I don't know why that is. You think with all the attacks they get on their own, they would get stronger at defense, but it doesn't seem at club level. That doesn't seem to be the case. The other thing is if they are impatient and they like instant gratification and they want to get a certain type of position, force them to play a position that requires patience and is not exciting. So I'll show you how I plan on doing this, and then we'll get hunting here soon. Now this is all normal, and how I am going to respond to it is I'm going to play knight to c3, let them recapture. Then I'm going to play bishop to f4. Since I played the London, I'm comfortable with my bishop on that square. And now the vast majority of the time, 85% of the time, they're going to take. Now these Englund Gambiteers, they like to move forward. They don't like to hold their ground or assess what's going on. They want to go forward. And then the idea for white is I'm going to play queen to d2, castle queenside, and have me be the one that has the lead in development, and me be the one that's going to have the fun time attacking. So this may be a common type of thing that may come up. And it scores really well for white. Black is not going to see this line very often. And I like the fact that it kind of turns the tables on him, lets us be the player that plays with the initiative. Now, there's another way that this could go, and that has to do with sometimes instead of knight to c6, they may play d6. And the thing to remember is what you never want to do against the Englund Gambiteer is just start grabbing these extra pawns that they throw at you. We can grab that first one, but if they start offering us additional pawns that would help them get a lead in development, avoid that at all costs. Now, I mean, a person can learn to play that way, but you're going to have to memorize a bunch of stuff. So how I'm going to handle this is I'm going to play e4. And my idea is, even though, the computer will say that, this is only a half a pawn better for white, and that, if we just kind of took the bull by the horns and tried to accept all the stuff and memorized a bazillion different things, we'd be a point and a half better. Practically, this is a good way to play it, in my opinion, for an adult improver. The idea is that we welcome going into this endgame, and practically it scores well. It scores well for white because this is just not the type of position that the Englund Gambiteer wants to find themselves in. The queen is gone. They can't have any fun. Now they have to try to understand and patiently put their squares on the best pieces. So one thing to know is just if we get in this kind of position, I'll flip and look real quick at the Scandinavian lines that we play that lead to an early exchange of the queens. But one thing is that the initiative is actually still really important in these queenless middle games. So what we want to do is actually play f4 and focus on our development and try to keep the initiative even though the queens are off the board. So one other thing that could happen is, instead of just exchanging right away like this, they may play knight to c6. And in that case, we can just still play our bishop to f4. And this is going to induce them to capture. So they'll probably either capture with their knight or with their pawn. And in either case, we get the queen exchange. So I won't go through those lines, but that's just the general idea. And so you notice one of the reasons I chose to do this is we do get some experience in this when we play the Scandinavian. So we would be black here. And when white plays this d4, which is kind of a less common move, we hit him with e5, and this can lead to this early queen exchange. So I like the simplicity of already having experience in these queenless middle games. So I think we kind of got an idea of how we're going to play against these Englund Gambiteers. We kind of understand the character of the game, and now we got to try to to find some habitat so we can go hunt some Gambiteers. So I'm going to look around here. Okay, I spotted some. It looks like there's a bunch in the Chess 3.0 Super Blitz Anonymous. And that makes sense. That way they can rage quit without any consequences. So let's head over to the Chess 3.0 Anonymous, and let's hunt some Englund Gambiteers.